Hello, guys, and welcome to the first episode of the Whips Nation podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and today we are interviewing midfielder Bryan Cole. This is going to be a fun one, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Hey, guys, this is the Whips Nation podcast. We have our special guest, Bryan Cole, here. Bryan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, how you doing? Bryan Cole. I guess went to the University of Maryland. Been playing for the Georgia Swarm for 4 years now, and just got drafted to the Whipsnakes in the supplemental draft there.
That's right. So, just a few questions for you, Bryan. First off, why lacrosse? I know growing up in Canada, there's a bunch of other options for you. You know, hockey. Did you play hockey growing up?
Yeah, I played till I was about 16, and then I just never really was that great at it. So I made the choice to go full time in lacrosse.
What position were you in hockey?
I kind of played all over, kind of wherever the team needed me, but played a lot of defense and then some center.
Okay, nice. How did growing up in Canada shape your game? Did you play a lot of box?
Yeah, so I played box my whole life. We played some field in there as well, but again, box is really the main component or the main style of lacrosse we play up here. So I guess the way it shaped my game, you have to kind of get used to playing in close quarters, and the pace of the game is fast. So that's what kind of drew me towards it was kind of playing on both sides of the ball, and then there's not a lot of time in between shifts, so you're playing every 30 seconds or so. So I found the speed of the game was awesome.
So this is kind of a two-part question. So did you play Junior A, and if so, what team did you play for?
Yeah, I played for the Chiefs, Burlington Chiefs, growing up.
Okay, very cool. All right, third question. So why did you choose to attend the University of Maryland, and were you interested in any other schools?
I was interested in some other schools. They weren't necessarily interested in me. I only visited Binghamton and Maryland, but just the feeling I got when I was there, I loved the campus, I loved the buildings, and then really the team. I can vividly remember almost every single guy that was there introducing themselves, and then themselves to my family as well, which kind of meant a lot to me. And then they were so close. Like, I don't know really how to explain the feeling I got when I was there, but the team camaraderie was definitely there, and you could sense the chemistry. So getting to spend some time with Jake and Jesse Bernhardt, Landon Carr, some notable Terps that were there. I spent my visit with. They kind of showed me around the campus and the teams, the buildings that they had. So I loved it there. Just they kind of took me in and showed me kind of the way of the school and what the Terps did, and I loved it.
Nice. When did you visit? Did you visit your junior or senior year?
I visited, I think it was February my junior year. So I was playing up at the Hill, and went down for a tournament where I think Coach Cottle saw me there, and then in the new year, in my junior year, I went down and visited.
Nice. Did you visit any other schools?
Just Binghamton. So
wow.
It's kind of a long commitment for my family to make that drive. So we tried to do all some schools in once. So I stopped in at Georgetown, saw the campus there, went to Maryland, and then on our way home we stopped in Binghamton.
Okay.
I like the look of Binghamton. The whole thing was on a hill, so that obviously made it tough.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it was great. I love my visit to Maryland. It was an awesome memory.
Awesome. So I know the Whipsnakes have a lot of former Terps. Some call them the Terp Snakes. How many of them played with you in college?
I actually had to look this one up. I played with 10 current Whipsnakes. So Rambo, Carlson, Chaney, Haas, Jake Bernhardt, Muller, Bryce Young, Matt Dunn, Earhart, and Kyle Bernler.
Wow.
And then I've also played with TJ Comizio, and I played with Zeddy on the Swarm.
So the way you were listing all those players off, to me in my head, it was like basically listing off an all-star team, right? So what what about Maryland, helped, propel all you guys to, where you're at today with respect to, your game, how you guys respect the game, and then how hard you guys compete out there on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think it stems from just the culture that all the Terps before us built. It's certainly not easy to be a student athlete in college, and I think being a student athlete at Maryland is probably one of the hardest things to do. The academics aren't easy, and the lacrosse side is certainly not easy to crack a roster and get an opportunity there. So I was obviously fortunate to learn from some of the best players in the world. Like you said, it's an all-star team, and tons of those guys are playing on the USA team. So I had the right people in front of me to follow, and I think moving forward in my career, I just tried to take kind of what they taught me, and in terms of work ethic and being humble and just trying to work on your craft. And yeah, that's a lot of what I learned from them.
No, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you see it just on the field, how everybody, the chemistry, the mentality, everything is very similar. So how do you feel personally about joining, a new team in a brand new league with the PLL? I mean, the field's a little bit shorter, shot clock's a little bit different, pace is a little bit quicker. How do you plan to adapt to that?
Honestly, I feel like the PLL is a bit of like what the MLL used to be, and what the NLL is. It's kind of a hybrid. It's in between, what both leagues are. So, I feel like I'm well suited for the game. I played transition and indoor lacrosse, and quite honestly, I'm looking to do whatever I can. I hope I make the team first and foremost, but if I do have that opportunity to, just talk to Coach Staggs and the rest of the guys, see what they need, and just try and help them out as best I can. In terms of myself as a player, I'd rather assist goals than score them. I don't know what it is. I'd rather, kind of give that ball to someone else. But yeah, if whatever way I can fit in on the team, that's kind of what I'm looking to do.
Nice. I mean, how was the entry draft for you? I mean, did Coach Staggs call you up right before the third, let him know, hey, Bryan, we're going to take you. You're going to be a Whipsnake?
No, I actually hadn't talked to anybody.
Really?
Secretly, I'm very happy about where I landed. Secretly, I was hoping I got drafted by the Whipsnakes. It's like you mentioned, it's a comfortable locker room. I know a lot of those guys, and I've been friends with them for a long time. So getting drafted there is great. Obviously, looking to crack a roster spot there, back-to-back champs. So, in my eyes, they don't need to make any changes. If they do it all, I'm just hoping I am one of those changes, and I can positively affect that group.
So, when you were drafted, and we all found out, who on the roster reached out to you? Whether it's to congratulate you, maybe chirp you a little bit, being the new guy on the team. I mean, who reached out to you?
A lot of the guys did. Honestly, I roomed with Kyle Bernlohr when I was at school, and pretty close with some of those other guys. So a lot of them texted me, and I got added to the group me shortly after, and a little bit of an initiation post about favorite songs and things like that. So again, it's the chemistry is there, and it's like they haven't skipped a beat since college. So. I haven't been chirped at all, but maybe they're saving that. Maybe they're saving that for the locker room in person.
Oh yeah, that'll for sure come during camp, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
So, what is your favorite song?
I put in our group me. I love it when you call me Big Papa, a Biggie.
Nice. It's a good choice. So what are you doing now to prepare for camp? Like, what's your training schedule look like?
Just working out, man. I work at Everest Academy up in Toronto here.
Okay.
So I've got my stick in my hands every day. I'm coaching the offense here. So, I feel like I'm in terms of what I'm doing for a career, I'm in the game, and mentally I'm prepared, but again, it's really hard to stay in game shape without really playing games week in and week out. So
it's true.
Trying to do what I can to mimic what I'll see on the weekends. And in the PLL, it's like you mentioned, it's a fast game. It's up and down, and it's super physical, obviously. So those are tough to mimic when you're working out.
Right.
But again, I'll try and suit up with our team here sometimes, and get the physicality in, but just kind of training in terms of weights. And then now that the weather's getting a little bit better here in Toronto, it actually snowed today, but
Really?
yeah,
You don't want to hear the weather in Phoenix right now. Let me tell you
no,
that.
I don't. I can imagine it's probably triple digits.
No,
Yeah,
it's
so
not.
the
It's not
weather's
quite triple digits yet. It was about 88 yesterday, and it was about 70 degrees. Coaching my high school team in the evening, so it was pretty much perfect. It
that
doesn't.
that is perfect.
It is.
If you
It does.
can if you can golf 12 months of the year, I'd move there in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's a win. I mean, I know Rambo comes here sometimes to golf. I know he's a pretty big golfer. You golf much?
I do. Yeah, last summer I played a fair amount of rounds just with COVID and not being able to play. I had a delusional dream that I was going to join the tour, so I played about like 50, 60 rounds, but I'm still not very good. So it's a craft that I'm still working on.
Golf's a hard game if you're not like consistently playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
once I started playing every day or every other day and being able to get to the range, I started to appreciate how difficult it is and the actual art that it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I've loved it for a long time. My dad's a real good golfer, and it was something for me. Like once we got kind of removed from lacrosse forcefully, it was something to stay competitive with, something to like focus a lot of my attention to and work at, and so it kind of took a lot of my attention, which was nice. A little bit of a stress relief for me after like I mentioned, forcefully being removed from lacrosse.
Do you see lacrosse kind of like golf in the way that you have to be pretty consistent with your training schedule, or else sometimes
Yeah,
it's harder to see the ball, your stick's not as sharp?
absolutely. The only difference is you don't move while you shoot in
Yeah.
golf, but in terms of like the attention to detail and
Mm-hmm.
working on things day in and day out, I think lacrosse is a lot like golf in the fact that like some days you wake up and you don't have it, like whether it's the form or the feel, but again, you kind of have to find ways to pull yourself out of it, even if you're in one of those days. So the only thing I would say is you don't have any teammates to lean on in golf, and it's obviously intellectually a very difficult game, and it's very frustrating. So being out there on your own is you don't have anybody else to like point the finger at or anything like that.
Right.
But it's different in ways, but very similar in a lot of ways.
No, for sure. So you mentioned earlier that assists are a huge part of your game, and I imagine field vision, all that hugely comes into play. How do you practice that on your own training? Is it pretty much solely like when you hop in with the guys that you coach? Are you able to practice field vision, seeing the field, passing? How do you practice that?
I think mentally I watch a lot of lacrosse just in the
Mm-hmm.
nature of what I'm doing here, but I love the game, right? So I'm watching a lot of lacrosse games through the NCAA, and
Yeah.
and then I've kept up with the PLL, and I've gone back and watched a lot of their games. So trying to see what I'm going to see hopefully in the future, and then just in terms of practicing, like I don't go and just shoot 100,000 balls. I'll go and
Right.
I'll actually like go through some dodges and work on feeding it into a net or just into open space.
Mm-hmm.
Try and pop it into like an empty bucket or something like that. So just trying to mimic the areas on the field that I would be feeding, kind of thing.
Do you have a favorite dodge, or is it just dependent on the matchup?
No, it all depends on kind of what's in front of you and what's given to you. I don't like to try and script anything. I think a lot of the game is just being, playing off of each other offensively and then taking what the defense gives you. It's, the defense in the pros are very well disciplined, and they kind of make you beat them in where they need to get beat or where they want to get beat and where they're going to live with it. So a lot of film kind of plays into that and preparing for it.
No, for sure. So we still have the collegiate draft coming up. How do you see yourself contributing within the offense as the roster stands today?
Yeah, like I kind of alluded to before, I first and foremost want to make the team. Do what I can in training camp to give myself the best opportunity to make that team. If I am fortunate enough to have that chance, as you kind of mentioned, it's an all-star team on the field right there. So Hopefully assist plays into that, and generate a little bit of offense. I would imagine I'll probably get the short stick, considering almost every guy on that team plays on Team USA. So, just try and get them the ball, and they got some amazing shooters and some guys that can make a lot happen. So, trying to do what I can, and even if it's like a two-way role, do what I can to keep the ball out of the net and see if I can get some opportunities in transition.
Awesome. So we're gonna have some Whips fans watch this interview, and they want to know, what's one thing non-lacrosse related that you want to share with them?
Oh man, personal?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm a pretty closed off person. I like to kind of keep it close to the vest, but I did just get a new dog, so I've been spending a lot of time with my dog. He's a long-haired German Shepherd. His name's Theo. So my girlfriend and I have been spending a lot of time with him. So he's been awesome. He's a big fluff ball, and if you're a dog person, check out German Shepherds. They're great.
Yeah. Hey, Kenji, come here. Come here.
I got one right here.
Yeah, I got one right here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he
cute.
might be blurred out, but yeah, he's right here.
That's cute.
They're the best dogs, man.
We've been spending
smart.
lots of time with him, trying to train him, and he's taking up a lot of my time away from work right now. So it's certainly in a time where things aren't going great, or there's a lot to look down on what's going on in our lives. My girlfriend and I decided to get this dog, and he's been awesome. Something to look forward to coming home every day, and someone to train with.
How old is he?
He's 12 weeks as of Tuesday.
Gosh, that's crazy.
He's brand new. We're going through the biting phase, so we're trying to do everything we can to have him bite something else rather than my hands or my feet.
Yeah, that's what's hard. So what we did is when he was biting on my hand, I'd try to slip a toy in, so that he'd bite the toy, and then praise him for that, good job, I'd make ouch kind of sounds if he'd accidentally bite me. Because when we got him, we rescued him at 8 weeks, and when you get him from the organization that we got him for, the dogs are neutered right there at 8 weeks old. So it's he was already just did not trust people at all. So kind of going through that, the whole thing was just the whole thing was just getting him to trust me, and but he's ended up being one of the best dogs I've ever had. So super blessed.
This is it's been awesome, man. He's taken up a lot of our time, and he's a little bit of a nutcase, but he's a blessing for sure.
Okay, and then I have one last question for you. And so I'm also a part of a PLL group me with some Twitter personalities, and one of them had an interesting question for you. It's not lacrosse related at all, don't worry. How many chicken nuggets can you eat in a minute? And does it matter where it's from, be it Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, whatever?
Oh man, good question. Lacrosse related ones are usually easier. McDonald's, maybe. I don't know. I really like Chick-fil-A. I could probably do 40 or 50. In how long do I get?
You get 60 seconds.
Oh, 60 seconds.
Yeah, a minute.
A minute. I could eat 30, I think. Maybe 30.
2 seconds a nugget.
In between 30
and
40. 35.
Okay. I'm going to keep that answer when I ask some of the other guys what they say. But 35.
If I got some sauce, if I got sauce and a drink, I think I could do 35.
Sauce and a drink's the difference maker? Okay.
For sure. Got to get some liquids in there.
Gotcha. Well, Bryan, thank you so much for hopping on this interview. I really appreciate your time. Do you have any questions for me?
No, man. I'm pumped to get going here, back to regular life, back to some more lacrosse, and hoping to see a lot of my buddies at the training camp soon.
Perfect, man. Well, we'll try to check in later when it gets closer to camp, but good luck, and keep it up with the training.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thanks, Bryan. If you made it here to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. Bryan was an amazing guest, and it was a pleasure having him on as our first interview. If you enjoyed this video, please go and hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more Whipsnakes content.